Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS. Rule as well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Bill to Buy and Rename Greenland, Red, White, and Blueland. Right? And Trump, that's the title of this video, and basically that's what it's about. Trump is this cruel lord, this fierce king to rule over the nations, and there really is no more wisdom in teaming because Trump has taken office and basically said that he's going to take over or buy Greenland, and it's for strategic reasons, of course. And this is the Most High stirring up the pot here in these last days. Let me grab this. We'll get to these videos that really explains it. This is 2nd Esdras 9 and 5. It says, "For like as all that is made in the world have the beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs." And one of those effects and signs is what's happening over here in this area. I'll grab this one first.
Wherever there's an ocean, there's going to be some big empire that wants to control it. But there's one ocean up at the top of the world that hasn't ever been controlled by great powers because it's literally frozen most of the time. But that's changing because up here in the Arctic, things are heating up 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. And some big countries see a lot of money and influence hiding under the ice. There are deposits of fossil fuels, shipping routes, and minerals. So what it's turned into is all of these countries, Russia, the United States, and even China, who's not even an Arctic country but kind of wants to be an Arctic country but just isn't, all of them are now vying for influence in the Arctic. Greenland belongs to the Kingdom of Denmark. They are a member of the military alliance called NATO. The US even has a military base up here. But Greenland is also kind of tied to China. A lot of their economy relies on sending fish to China. The result of all of this is tension, more and more every year. I actually went to Greenland to try to understand what this really important island means for the future of influence in the Arctic.
The Arctic is undergoing a transformation.
All right, so we're gonna grab that. So as you can see, there's something happening up there, and this dude right here in this video, he's gonna explain it more. But basically, Trump has take office, and he's like, "I'm gonna buy this land," and all the nations around already know what's happening over in that area with the ice melting, and pretty much Russia is already there. So the fact that Trump came in there and was like, "Yo, I'm taking over and I'm about to buy this," that's not wise at all, and the nations see exactly what he's doing. Let me grab this. Jeremiah 49 and 7. It says prophecy against Edom. It says concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel shall host. Is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? And that's basically because there's more understanding in Esau Edom. He's seeking now to the charmers into the idols. Let me grab that. Well, actually, that's that cruel Lord. So we'll grab that. So I just get it from the top. So this is how Donald Trump is coming in, trying to take over. Isaiah 19 and 1, it says, "The burden of Egypt," which is modern day Babylon, it says, "Behold, the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, rides upon a swift cloud, which is a chariot, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom." Right, and this is happening in a broader scope, and basically the Most High is doing this. He's causing this. Excuse me. These are effects and signs happening because throughout the whole time, this Arctic area has been just ice. And now as we inch closer towards the end, when tensions are flaring between the nations, the Most High has given them something to kind of be, heated over and tensed about. And Trump is not making it any better with him making demands to buy Canada or annex Canada and make it the 51st state, and also Greenland for that area over there, which it has. That's why he was talking about drill, baby, drill. This man talking about over there by Greenland in the Arctic, So I'm gonna get the video for it. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof." So see, and basically, the scriptures say Esau will come out with great wrath because he have but a short time, and basically he's losing his grip of power. right? The dollar's falling. The nations are no longer showing them respect. So what Trump is doing, coming in as that cruel lord, is basically trying to take it all back, take their power back, and be that bully that they want, that they were always, once were. But, because of, what is it, Biden wasn't there, basically been a pushover, basically dying in office, and now he's out of there. So Trump's trying to come and fix it, but that sudden destruction is going to hit them, right? So they're fighting all over the place. It says in verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to wizards. So the Most High is going to send them these lying spirits, right? Because they have no more knowledge, and they're at the end. The Most High is no longer helping them, to be his sword and basically defeat the nations, because basically his end is here. So he has one last trump. Trump is in office. He has this one last trump to issue out this MOTB. And have that great testing to put on the Israelites. And after that, he's done. It says in verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, the Lord of hosts. And that's the point. So this fierce king and cruel Lord is Donald J. Trump, right? He's coming in as a brute beast, and just trying to take over. So let me grab this video. Or matter of fact, I'll play this. So this is what Donald Trump said. And this, you can play this.
Tonight, Georgia Representative Buddy Carter has introduced a new bill that would authorize President Donald Trump to purchase Greenland and name it Red, White, and Blueland. The bill would also require the federal government to refer to it as such on official documents and maps. Representative Carter praised Mr. Trump for identifying the purchase as a national priority, calling it a monumental deal for the U.S.
So you see that they're making a bill where they're making it okay to purchase this. Let me see if I can grab this. Is it Psalms 10? Verse 1. Let me grab this. I got this one, Psalms 94, 20. I think it's Proverbs 10, though. Let me see. All right, let me grab this. Proverbs, Psalms 94 and 20. Because this man is making a bill. He's making a bill, and this is one of his NATO states, too. This is what Revelation 17, right? The 10 horns shall hate the horde. Let me grab that. Psalms 94 and 20. It says, shall the thorn of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? See, they frame it mischief by law. Let me grab this in the NLT. It says, can unjust leaders claim that Yahweh is on their side? Leaders whose decrees permit injustice, right? You can get so let me grab. Let me look for that scripture. Bear with me. Okay, it's Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10:1. Let me grab that. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. See, so pretty much this was the plan. What we're going to get to in that video, this ICE Ben Milton, and they've been basically waiting for it. And now Trump is signing bills. Pretty soon, probably an executive order where he can probably just take over Greenland. And Greenland is a NATO state. That's another reason why these 10 horns are going to hate the horde, Babylon the Great, because they're moving with great wrath, right? Because they have but a short time and they're trying to gain back that power back. But the nations is no longer dealing with them like that. It says, Revelation 17 and 14, these shall make war with the Lamb. So basically, World War III is upon us. Donald Trump is talking about it more. He just talked about it in a recent point. He had a meeting with France, the president of France. And he was talking about that what Russia is doing over there can start World War III. But everyone knows, we're in that time. That's why I got Ecclesiastes right here. Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Going on to verse 8, it says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. There's no longer peace and safety, right? We're in a time of war. That's why the topic of World War III keep coming up, you know? So let me grab this, Revelations 17 and 14. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb. So World War III is going to happen, right? We're in that time of war. War is upon us, right? We're at the last war, which is World War III. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen of faith, right? So this goes to the hopeful elect. We're going to get beamed up by Yahushua upon his return, you know, when these nations are shooting these missiles on each other. We're going to witness it, you know, from the chariots. Anyway, in verse 15, it says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So these same, you know, people that America has been joined to with is going to begin to hate America. And we're seeing the causes of that now. And one of the reasons why is because Trump is trying to just take over different places, you know, for strategic gain and in this last time for war. Right? It says, for Yahweh have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So basically they fulfilled their purpose because we're at the end. So they did give their kingdom over, but now the purpose of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai is the end, to gather the nations to war and have the whore, the 10 nations hate the whore. So that's where we're at now. That's why you have this cruel Lord in office and he's doing what he's doing, upsetting the people, you know, EU, NATO, and all of that. So let's get the second video. And,
The Arctic is undergoing a transformation. It's driven by global warming and intense global competition.
Global tensions find a new stage in the warming Arctic.
Tonight, the U.S. closely monitoring growing military cooperation between Russia and China.
The Arctic is no longer a low-tension region.
You've got the incoming U.S. president calling the Arctic a top priority and promising to drill for oil and gas. Canada is massively beefing up its military presence, investing $72 billion over the next couple of decades into Arctic defense. And Russia and China working together on what they call a polar Silk Road.
There are more people, more interested eyes looking to the Arctic.
So why exactly is all of this happening now? Let's go through it. The Arctic is opening up. These thick blocks of ice are melting, clearing the way for ships to travel through. According to the Canadian government, by 2050, the Arctic Ocean will become an increasingly viable shipping route between Europe and Asia during the summer.
By the middle of this century, there will be no polar ice cap at the height of summer.
That's a big deal because right now, the fastest way to ship goods from Europe to Asia is through the Suez Canal in Egypt. But as we've seen more and more, the Suez Canal is not always the most reliable route.
A giant container ship ran aground in the Suez Canal after losing power.
Civilian shipping in the Red Sea has become more collateral damage to the war in Gaza.
So what if, instead of going down south and passing through the Middle East, you could go north and use the Arctic Ocean as a shortcut across the globe? There are essentially two ways you could do this. One is using what's known as the Northwest Passage. This would take you through the Arctic on the North American side, weaving through Canada's northern archipelagos. The other route through the Arctic is known as the Northern Sea Route. This one passes through the Russian side of the Arctic Ocean, along the Siberian coastline. Both of these routes offer a much shorter path between Europe and Asia than the Suez Canal. It shaves off up to 5,000 kilometers. That's a third of the trip, or up to a full week of travel. And the warmer the ocean gets, the easier those routes become to navigate. Countries realize this potential, and so there is a battle for control.
Even non-Arctic states are looking to the Arctic and inserting themselves into the Arctic as much as they can.
It has potential shipping lanes. It has a tremendous endowment of natural resources.
The Arctic is full of untapped gold, nickel, copper, diamonds, platinum, and researchers believe it's holding about 90 billion barrels of oil and 30% of the world's undiscovered natural gas. And all of this is creating incredible tension, partly because no one can seem to agree which parts of the Arctic belong to whom, and because the prospect of friendly negotiation is shrinking. Shortly after Russia invaded Ukraine, the Arctic Council, which is the place where Canada, the US, Nordic countries, and Russia all got together to discuss these issues, they stopped meeting entirely.
So you can see they was already talking about this, and now Trump has gotten to office and he's just like, Yeah, this is ours. We're taking it over. This Habakkuk 2:5, it says, I'm starting at 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So Esau's soul is not upright in him, right? He's a wicked individual, right? And the nations are starting to see this. Habakkuk 2:5, it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. That goes into his laws, policies and things like that. That's that wine. It says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. It says, shall not all these take a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, and this thick clay is ibatya, which is the Hebrew word ibatya, which goes into debt. That's what the thick clay is. And they're even hitting that in random ass interviews that they can't pay it off. Every once in a while you hear them say, yeah, we can't pay it off, and they just keep going on. So war is upon these people, but at the same time, they're not allowing these people that can't even pay off their debts to just say we're taking Greenland and Canada and fuck EU and all of that, right? So the nations are standing up for themselves,
Which brings us to North America's most pressing concern when it comes to the Arctic.
Guardrails that prevent conflicts are increasingly under immense strain. Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine has led us all to ask, who's next?
Up here on the top of the world, there is a vast expanse of ice and of emptiness. And yet Russia has made deploying its military up here to these extreme conditions a real priority.
Russia has, by far, the largest share of Arctic territory. Almost a quarter of its territory is north of the Arctic Circle, and it controls 24,000 kilometers of Arctic coastline. Over the past few years, it has been steadily building up its military presence in the area, investing in air bases, naval ports, icebreaker fleets, upgrading its submarines. Russia says this is to deter adversaries from even considering a potential attack, and to show that if an attack came, they would defend themselves at all costs.
Historically, Russia's northern coast there was protected by ice, and there wasn't a lot of traffic. And so as the ice is retreated, and all of a sudden it's sort of like this potential, attack point.
But all of this has the West on edge because it knows Russia is not content simply to defend its holdings. It wants to expand its sphere of influence.
We now have 7 of the 8 Arctic states are NATO, and Russia is not NATO. That can create conditions for tension.
People in North America have become a lot more concerned about what the Russians are up to, what Vladimir Putin is up to.
After the end of the Cold War a few decades ago, Russia closed dozens of military bases in the Arctic. It also agreed to
All right, so you can check that out. She said, who's next? And basically, America's definitely not it. America is struggling to, help themselves, basically. As you can see, Donald Trump is in office making a fool of America, right? Just trying to take over everything and be the bully that they are. This is Daniel 7:26. It says, I just started at 26. Daniel 7:26. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it unto the end. So at the end of all this, the last kingdom, the Roman Empire, which America is the revised Roman Empire, Yahushua is coming to take the kingdom away. So the judgment against America to be destroyed, it sits, right? America is going to be destroyed, and our kingdom is going to be set up next, the kingdom of the saints, of Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, right? So there's no, who's next is Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, right? And the Israelites, which, we can get that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Let me make sure, 2 and 5 real quick. Let me see, because I think it's 5 and 2. Right. Who they look? Okay. So I just get it right here. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. Right? And they repenting and groaning of anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh, and his lot is among the saints. Right? So, we're next. It says in verse 27, Daniel 7:27, in the kingdom and dominion, in the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints, to the Most High. To the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Right? So Russia Russia are Edomites, but even China is not even over there in that part, and they're trying to, make themselves known over there. So, but anyway, all these nations are going to bow to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? And the saints, because our kingdom is next. So, and America is definitely going down. And once again, they're scrambling to do what they're doing. So, let me, the point is the Most High is stirring the pot in these last days with these effects and signs, right? There's no peace and safety. Let me grab that. See, all hell is breaking loose. And they fighting over too much. First Thessalonians 5:3. First Thessalonians 5:3 says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as fell upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." See, so Donald Trump is in here talking about peace and safety and trying to get everything back in order in America, Israel. None of that's happening, right? There's no greater Israel. That shit not happening because the nations is still, waking up. Joel 3. So you can't buy Greenland, all right? And you can't make a greater Israel. It says Joel 3:9, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong." See, so what they were here fighting over trade routes to get better, trade routes to make better foods and farming and all of that stuff. The Most High says, prepare yourselves for war. And that's exactly what's happening because they're fighting over it. And it's true Lord, Esau, Edom, Donald Trump, and his buddies, the Israelis, is gonna blow it all up in their face. And the Lord is doing it, right? So even right here, Isaiah 13:1, it says, "The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift up a banner upon the high mountains, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the noble," right? So who? The men of the Lord are here with the Bible, which is that banner, to exalting our voice, letting them know their judgment and what's to come, which is World War III, right? I'm a prophet of doom, right? I am a prophet of doom, right? That's doom to Babylon the Great, to Esau, Edom, to the heathen, right? There's no peace and safety. Your generations is not continuing, right? It's over with. You're done, right? You had your run. It was good for you. Hopefully it was good for you because it's definitely going to be good for us, right? Because we about to give your ass double what you gave us, right? So go in your history books, go look at your memoirs or whatever the case may be, see what you did and doubles for your ass to come, right? So prophet of doom right in your face. Anyway, Isaiah 13:2, it says, "Lift up a banner upon the high mountains, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the noble," right? And the nobles are definitely listening. They hear and they're trembling, they're terrified, right? Because the whole elect of Israel has awoken to this truth, and we're doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Teaching his word, preaching his word, and letting them know that their judgment is coming. Right? It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones, right? So this goes into the angels of the Lord and also us, the hopeful elect, now in this time, for mine anger. And then that time is going to come too. Daniel 12 says, the archangel Michael, right, shall stand up for us in that day, which is the day of, let me grab it, Jacob's trouble. It says, Daniel 12:1, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, a great prince, who is standing for the children of thy people." See, for the Israelites only. It says, this is an angel, the archangel. It says, "And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book." See, this goes into the Israelites. The Israelites are found written in that book, the hopeful elect, now in this time, right? And the archangel Michael will be here standing up for us, right? So we better call on him, right? And we're sanctified, we're holy, set apart from the Lord. The hopeful elect now in this time, right? 2/3 of our people will be destroyed because they refuse to listen, right? So hey, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. It says, verse 4, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations, gathered together, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai of hosts, mustereth the hosts of the battle, as they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land," right? So this goes into the nuclear missiles and also the armies that he's raising up, pursuant to Ezekiel 38 chapter. And if you grab this in NLT, because this is the point I wanted right here, it says NLT Isaiah 13:4, it says, "Hear the noise on the mountains. Listen as the vast armies march." So World War III is upon us. It says, "It is the noise and shouting of many nations." It says the Lord of Heaven's armies has called this army together. So how is he doing that? He's stirring the pot. He's making tensions flare up with this Arctic ice melting. Let me grab, what is it? Matthew 24. I just get to the point. Matthew 24:6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrow. See, so all these things are happening, right? And once again, Esau, Edom, the hammer of the whole earth, this nigga is losing his power, so therefore he's going to move with great wrath because he know how to, he have but a short time, so he's going to bring in order of chaos, right? To do exactly what he needs to do. Revelation 4:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil Esau Edom is come down unto you having great wrath, because he know that he have but a short time. So Esau know, right? He know exactly what's up. He's seeking these charmers and idols and left-hand source magic, so he know exactly what's up. So he's moving with, speed. And he also sees that he's failing. He, is over for him pretty much. So me, I'll grab. This is Luke 12:49. It says, I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning. So once again, this is exactly what's happening, It's going into the Arctic. The nation's fighting over this Arctic. It says, I have a terrible baptism of suffering. This is Luke 12:49. This is an NLT. It says, I have come to set the world on fire. And this is Yahushua. All right. It says, I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning. Right. So Yahushua is upset. Right. And he's come to set the world on fire. He wished it was already burning. It is. Right. And the Most High is stirring the pot now. These are the effects and signs that we're seeing in the last days. These nations rising against each other. So now they're fighting over there in the Arctic. Basically, as you can see, Trump is trying to buy Greenland and take over Canada and things like that, while Russia already has a big part of it. And pursuant to Ezekiel 38, these two nations are going to be at odds in the last days anyway, Russia and America, right? So, hey, we're in that time of war. It says, I have a terrible baptism of suffering ahead of me, and I am under a heavy burden until it's accomplished. So Yahushua came, he died. He had, bear his cross just like we're bearing our cross now, and he died on that cross. Now he rose. He's on the right hand of the Father, and he's on his way back to Babylon the Great to destroy this place. It says, do you think I have come to bring peace to the earth? No, I have come to divide people against each other. From now on, families will be split apart, 3 in favor of me and 2 against, or 2 in favor and 3 against. Father will be divided against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, and mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. Basically, this is the time that we're living in, right? This is not a time of peace. It's a time of war and separation and division, right? The hopeful elect is being sealed, right? And these nations are going at it. And this is another part of how they're going at it, Play this again. That'll be it.
Tonight, Georgia Representative Buddy Carter has introduced a new bill that would authorize President Donald Trump to purchase Greenland and name it Red, White, and Blueland. The bill would also require the federal government to refer to it as such on official documents and maps. Representative Carter praised Mr. Trump for identifying the purchase as a national priority, calling it a monumental deal for the U.S.
Right, and they even did that with Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico is not the Gulf of America. But that lady over there who's in Mexico, she's a small hat anyway, right? She's a JOO. She's of the banking elites who run the world in secret, right? So Lord willing, this video was edifying to you. I'll say shalom to those who elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.